Hey, what is up guys? My name is Slickmoth and I'm back again with another video. And in this one, we're going to be breaking down and giving my reviews of the new comics that I got this week. And I apologize, I know my camera's not the best, but I'm going to try to show you, some images from the comic books that I did get this week. This is the week of Wednesday, September 28th is the day that I get my new comics. And generally speaking, I don't read everything of Rebirth anymore. I used to because there was enough that I could afford. Now I try to budget myself, and I want to read all of it. I really, really do. There's not a series out right now that I don't have any interest in reading. With that being said, I do limit myself to $20 a week. So I just take a $20 bill. I have nothing else in my wallet besides a $20 bill. And I just go into the comic book store. That will get me 6 comic books. Okay, so it comes out to about $19 with tax in North Carolina, $2.99 a piece. Pretty good deal. So 6 comic books for $20, a pretty good deal, as I mentioned. With that being said, though, this week I did go over, so I got 7. So I did have a few extra ones in my wallet. So yes, I got 7 books. Here is the poll that I had this week. So the first on my list is Batman Detective Comics 941. This is part 3 of Night of the Monster Men, which is a series that I haven't talked about on this channel. People have asked me about it, and I love it. I mean, the first and second parts, and Nightwing and Batman, were last week. So good. I mean, so good, and that issue is no exception. We'll get into that. Next, we have Wonder Woman number 7, which is maybe just the best cover art of a comic book I've seen in a long time. I mean, the art isn't a lot like, it's actually from the same artist as the interior art work. As you can see, to me personally, it doesn't look a whole lot like it, and I know the lighting's not the best. We're going to try to actually put on the all white on my little light here once I'm done previewing everything. But anyway, so the art is just so good on that cover. This is a variant. This is not the art that it ships with, and I can't believe that. But yeah, I just had to get that. So this is actually the 0.1, so the 3.1 or whatever you want. That's what they do in Marvel, like 3.1. But this is just the regular cover. They would get default. And you see Batgirl here, and this is by Hope Larson, who's been writing it. And I'll get into my thoughts about that. As you all know, huge fan of Batgirl. Here we have Suicide Squad number 3, a series that I've been absolutely, just loving and think has been absolutely stellar. And essentially, it's divided up. The first half of the issue is like a current story, and then the last half of the issue is a flashback or the origin of one of the characters in the squad. And this week it was Katana, so I'll talk about that a little bit. Now we have Teen Titans. This is the first issue, which is different. Sorry, a little bit of lag there. Hopefully it stopped doing that. So this is Teen Titans, different from Titans, of course. I'll get into that next. And so you've got Damian Wayne leading the squad. You've got Starfire, Garth, and you also have Kid Flash and Raven on there as well. Okay, so then we get into Titans, and you have Abracadabra's Revenge, I believe is the title of this book, but it certainly says right here. Abracadabra is a villain that I think is just so cool. Is one that I was not introduced to very much. I don't know very much about even still. I'll get into that. I need to say my thoughts on that. But everything I read this week was great. Spoiler alert. And then we have Godspeed on Flash number 7. The Flash, number 7. And we'll talk about that first, since we are already right here. And Godspeed, the way he was introduced in this issue. Now, we've seen him in the past issues, but it was so brilliant. It did a similar bait and switch to the one that was in Batman number 4, or 3, I believe it was, where you see in that issue, in Batman, you see somebody in an alley with their mom and their dad. Mom and dad are about to get shot, and you think it's, of course, Bruce Wayne's origin. You're getting a flashback. And then it turns out that Batman comes flying in and saves him, and you realize it's Gotham and Gotham Girl. So that was a great bait and switch. It's the same sort of thing here, I personally would find, where, he's given this sort of monologue, and it's in the Flash. You see the little, so that's indicating the Flash is speaking, right? And he's giving a very Flash-esque monologue, and he's talking about how his brother got shot. And I'm like, well, I didn't know yet. He doesn't have a brother as far as I'm aware. And then he says, my name is August Hart instead of Barry Allen. Instead of saying, and I'm the fastest man alive. Of course, that's, my name's Barry Allen, and I'm the fastest man alive. He says, my name is August Hart, but you can call me Godspeed. So it's like a bait. Oh, there it is. Right there where my thumb is. You can't really see it. And it's just like a bait and switch, right? And in just a brilliant way that is misleading you that Barry Allen is speaking, but it's actually, of course, Godspeed, who turns not from a villain as he's been previously, where they're just fighting, and they do fight in the first few pages of this book, which are just absolutely stellar to see. It's hard to see through a camera because there's just so much, madness going on because, it's two speedsters fighting. But that was all very entertaining, and then the story's really picking up here, and I've been really, really impressed with the series the whole way through, but this issue is probably the best that I've read of the entire series, and the cover work is just great as well. Not that I'm really picky about artwork or even covers in comics. The way I think about it is you spend less time looking at the cover than you do what's inside the book. With that being said, they do say you never judge a book by its cover. Not really the case in comic books. It's an exception to comics, and the artwork is great there. Okay, so that's my review for The Flash. I give that a pretty high score. And now we're going to get into Titans. Oh, let me turn the light. Let me change my light here really quick. So I've got my light is actually changed by my phone here, so you can see. I can change it. Not that you probably care. You're just here to read about comics. Okay, there we go. Got the light on. Okay, so let's get into Titans number 3, which is a series I've also been enjoying. And Teen Titans is one I was looking forward to. I'll talk about that a little bit. So this is basically the team. If you've watched Young Justice, the TV show, this is sort of comparable, in terms of a team. You've got Wally West, and you've got Nightwing in the mix as well. Even though I don't think he was in Young Justice until later, but that's sort of what you're looking at here. You can see it on the cover, and you've got Abracadabra, who's the freaking coolest villain ever. Is just growing on me so much, and is one that I'm like really interested in, like all into, and I want to find back issues on him right now because I'm just really, really into him as a character for whatever reason as an antagonist. I don't really know why. He's kind of goofy in a way, like you can see art right here. He's definitely goofy, but it's done a lot better than, if you look in like the 80s, which I was looking up, maybe not that long ago, but it is just like, it's goofy. It's just a magician. But here you can see, that is some really great art. And, Abracadabra, he's just a great villain. Just one that's so freaking cool. And again, one that I don't know very much about, and I'm not going to pretend to, but just services the book so well. And we get to see a lot of character building in this issue. We get to see one thing that was really. I always love these moments in comic books. You see, basically the whole gang sitting at like a diner, and you can see in that top frame the waitress. You may not be able to see her. She is like, "What the fuck?" And then you just look at the background and like Nightwing and Kid Flash and all, or Barry Allen, excuse me. They're all just chilling at this diner, and I love moments like that. I'm so sad in X-Men Apocalypse they cut out the scene where they go to the mall, in the 80s. So scenes like that, even in Justice League vs. Teen Titans, the animated film where they go to the carnivals, scenes like that. I really like those character beats. Speaking of Teen Titans, that was actually accidental. I didn't mean to do this. It's not. I don't plan these things. Okay, anyway. So, Teen Titans Rebirth. We have here, once again, Damian Wayne leading the squad. And this issue, oh my god, it was so good. Now, this is by Piercy. And if you remember, you may recognize him from the Green Arrow Rebirth book, which I'm assuming he's not doing anymore, since he probably can't write 2 comics at once. This issue was stellar. It might have been my favorite of the whole week. I don't know. But essentially, the way that it was done is it cuts from character to character. All 4 that you see basically in the reflection of the Batarangs here. And it starts with Garth, and then you go through. So Garth, they cut to him. He's having a good old time. It's a very fun book, I'll tell you. And this is not one that's typically up my alley. Usually I like more like sort of dark and gritty and just like straight up superhero tales and stuff like that. Even though I just said, I like character moments. But, you can have that in dark and, gritty stories and stuff like that. So this is very, it's out of my range for sure. You see Starfire here. The art is really upbeat and lively, and just you see Starfire there, just vibrant and fun art. And here's a great look here at Starfire. And let's see. And then we also have Raven, who has a look that actually now that I think about it, how the hell do I? There we go. Let's do it this way. Well, now that I think about it, isn't a look that I, like I'm in love with, relative like the animated film, for example, Justice League vs. Teen Titans, the most recent one. I thought that, I definitely like the, like the emo look of her a little bit more, and she does have her hood up here, so it's nothing worth, nitpicking over, but she services the story great here, and I can't wait to see how she fits in. Then we also see Kid Flash. Great look here. I'm sort of spoiling this comic. There's nothing really to spoil, to be truthful with you. This issue is just so good. I won't show you the final page because there is a sort of a cliffhanger that goes throughout it. But basically, it's just cutting and introducing into each member of the team as a Rebirth issue is. This is a straight up Rebirth issue, not a number 1. So it's one of those things where, do you have to read it if you already know about the Teen Titans? I would say yes, just because of what happens, and something does happen. I didn't show you. All I showed you was Some about the art and stuff like that. So don't be worried about being spoiled, but I definitely would recommend reading it. It's maybe my favorite issue of, this week, which is saying a lot because I loved everything that I read. Okay, so let's talk about Suicide Squad number 3, which is a series that I've been really, really liking. Not that I was not expecting to like it, but I wasn't expecting it to be like my favorite, series or anything like that, and it's quickly becoming that. Because, first of all, the art is stellar. You see Zod. This, I guess, is a spoiler if you haven't read issue 1 and 2. Zod is a freaking beast in this book, man. He is just huge. I mean, God, it is so cool, and I love seeing that the physicality of Zod. He's portrayed in a way that look at him relative to Katana. Holy Christ, he is freaking huge, and he's been in the Phantom Zone forever, just lifting weights, I guess. I don't know. But you see Katana, I mean, the Harley moments are just insane, and I know I've said that, it's hard to top Suicide Squad, in my personal opinion, for Harley Quinn. I think it's the best portrayal of the character ever, but this book comes closest to doing it and trying to match that, and this book is sort of unapologetic in the ties that it takes from Suicide Squad, but also it really portrays things in a new way as well, and you see Katana's origin is much more comic booky than the one that we saw in the film, and of Suicide Squad, and I definitely would recommend reading it. Yes, Katana is one that I've really enjoyed seeing in the Birds of Prey and the New 52, as opposed to Suicide Squad. I think that she doesn't really fit in really well to the group of the mechanic, I guess, or the group dynamic of the Suicide Squad, but it services the squad well. Just an interesting dynamic, and one that I think works on the Birds of Prey as sort of like a misfit, kind of hodgepodge of personalities. But I do love seeing her in the Suicide Squad, and her origin is brilliantly portrayed here. And as I mentioned, it's divided into 2 parts. So the first issue was Deadshot, and then we had, it was really good. I can't remember. It was in number 2. I'm trying to think. It's going to kill me now. I've got to remember. Was it Harley? It might have been Harley. No, we haven't done Harley yet. We haven't done Harley yet. I honestly can't remember, but it was really cool. Trust me. So, we've got Enchantress. We haven't seen her origins yet, but Deadshot's one is so good as well. Okay, so moving on. Suicide Squad number 3. Everything's been great. Everything's so good. Okay. Batgirl number 3. So you guys know, if there's one comic book character I do pick a lot, it is Batgirl. This story's been very good. It's different. And again, it's one of those things where it's not up my alley. It's not something that, like, if I would only read one book, a month, I mean, maybe I would just because it's Batgirl, but probably not, right? And it's probably one of those things where it's definitely a little bit out of my comfort zone. The art is pretty good. It's pretty good. You can see it's definitely kind of, fun and lively. Also, I will say that they're getting a new artist that I'm sort of iffy about. I saw the art. I wasn't very impressed with it. It comes out number 7. Batgirl number 7, and it's back to Burnside. Kill me now. So you guys know I'm not a fan of Burnside, but I will give Hope Larson a chance because she's really done great work for Batgirl, and it's a reasonable compromise between what I would want, which is Gail Simone Batgirl, dark and gritty and all the way down there. So it's basically like Batman, sort of is the tone of it, and of course, just in the nature of her being a female, I suppose their intent is to market to more female audiences. That's fine. I can accept that. And again, it's a reasonable compromise between the New 52 issues 35 through 52 with Cameron Stewart, Babs Tarr, which was horrible. It was horrendous. So I mean, I haven't read past the first issue, but it's horrible. I mean, come on, we all know it's horrible. Okay. So, I mean, no offense to her, but it's just, it was just way too hipster. It's just not Barbara Gordon. At that point, you're not, it's not even Barbara Gordon, where, she's like posting on social media, and I read a comic book from the New 52 Batgirl where she didn't say anything the whole issue. She spoke the whole time through emojis, and I wanted to kill myself. It's the worst comic book I've ever read in my entire life. I'm not joking you. It is, ugh. Okay, so anyway. Batgirl number 3 was good. It was a good story. I didn't talk much about the story. You kind of have to be following it. She's basically not in Burnside or Gotham or anywhere. She's in, like, Japan and South Korea. The story's very good. It had me hooked the whole time, so I give that a good grade. So here's, again, the issue with this. Just an amazing art on it. And you've got Wonder Woman 75. Whoa, shit. I'm kind of a... There we go. I'm kind of a nitpicker about my quality. Like, my comic book store kind of gets annoyed because I look through, like there'll be like 15 Wonder Womans and I'll just travel through. I'm just looking for that 10, and this is not even close. I mean, this is like a 9.4 right off the rack. You see, tear there, not really a tear, but just damage. And then you've also got damage here. I mean, I noticed, you might not even notice this, but I do care about these things. And then there, so automatically right there, you're looking at a 9.4 tops. Right, and even so, everything else is probably good. So, I mean, maybe it's like a 9, maybe right off the rack, which is not that good right off the rack. But anyway, okay, so Wonder Woman, this is definitely a continuation of the modern story. Remember, this is doing the same thing where it's like half modern, half, blast from the past. And I will say that of each, even though I've been liking both, I think that the flashback issues are my favorite. And the whole idea of like uncovering the lies, or trying to find the truth of her existence and who she really is. And she's been lied to a lot and that sort of thing. And that sort of arc has actually been sort of lost in what's been going on. But seeing the flashbacks to Barbara Ann and her arc is sort of resolved in a way in this issue in terms of the context of this story. And definitely goes unexpected places. I will just say that. I really, really did enjoy this issue, and I've been enjoying Wonder Woman. Wonder Woman is actually one of those series where I was saying I was enjoying it, but it wasn't like my favorite thing in the world, right? And then I got Wonder Woman issues 1 through 6, which I had in my long box back issues, and I just reread it as if it were a graphic novel, or a trade paperback rather, right? And so rather than waiting a week, and in essence, because of the way it alternates, it's basically a month, right? So it's a month between the modern story and a month between the flashback, between 2 issues every month. I think you guys get what I'm saying. So I reread it, and I enjoyed it like 10 times more. I can't even explain it to you. So like I went from this like lukewarm, like yeah, it's good, I look forward to it, but it's not like my favorite thing, to being like, this is freaking amazing, right? That's one thing I forgot to mention. Let me find Titans again. One of the reasons I really like Abracadabra, I forgot to mention, I did want to mention this, is since the Rebirth issue, we've always wanted to see, what's going on with, like, how did this whole DC Rebirth thing happen? Like, how is Wally stuck in the Speed Force? Dr. Manhattan got introduced in The Watchmen, and Ozymandias apparently can be in. And we haven't really seen a lot of that. It hasn't really been built up upon. And there's actually, Wally West explicitly is talking about how Abracadabra put him in this is not a spoiler, it's in the first page, literally, about he put him into the Speed Force. So we're starting to uncover more about that, right? Because I was expecting a little bit more of, like how he got into the Speed Force, and I thought the Titans book was going to be like straight up attack on Dr. Manhattan, right, or something like that, but it's been a little bit slower to get to that, but I think they're getting there. Maybe not to, a fight with Dr. Manhattan, because that's not one the Titans can win, but interesting how they're starting to tie the whole universe together, and it's been a few months now of Rebirth, and it's nice as a fan to have that sort of payoff start to come. Okay, so next we've got here is the only Detective Comics issue that I have since Rebirth. I know it's been so good, issues 934 through 940 here, and this is as I said, I didn't read the Red Robin arc, okay, but we have Batman Detective Comics, Night of the Monster Men, Part 3, and as I mentioned, this is basically, the Detective Comics team. They're in Nightwing and Batman too, so you've got to buy across a series of books to get the whole crossover event, and it has been really, really good, I would just tell you. This Monster Men stuff, I mean, it's right up my alley of like a dystopian view of Gotham, right? But also at the same point, you've got just it's like zombies, basically. I mean, for lack of a better way to put it. So all these red things that are getting on their heads are basically zombie infections. And seeing Spoiler try to combat that. I mean, it is so cool. It is so cool. And I was getting excited about this as well. Batman number 9, I Am Suicide Squad. I'll read it. The pitch for you. The world's greatest detective turns to his greatest villains for a suicide run. I was about to say Suicide Squad. A suicide run against his deadliest foe, Bane. Now, I would personally debate if Bane is Batman's deadliest foe. But Tom King, issue number 9. Right now, Batman is on 7. So we're going to have issue 8, which is Night of the Monster Men Part 4. This is 3. And then issue 9 is going to go straight into I Am Suicide. So, spoiler alert, Batman doesn't die in Night of the Monster Men. I think we all can figure that. So, I'm really starting to feel as well. One of the things I will mention, I was really happy to see the payoff of Gotham Girl. And not necessarily the payoff, but a little bit of one, because we definitely I would say had that character maybe forced down her throat a little bit, not necessarily in a bad way, but we definitely got introduced to her very quickly and just right from Batman #1. And when I buy, a Batman comic, I want to see Batman, right? I think we all do. And there was a lot of Gotham Girl. And it was good to see that Gotham definitely did pay off as a character, not a city. And then Gotham Girl has been paying off good as well. Like she's had a significant payoff. I will just keep using that word, and we get to see her character arc sort of develop. And I feel like I'm happy that I stuck out Tom King's early issues. Not that they were bad or I had to stick them out because I wasn't interested, because I was, and I was into it. But I feel like if you were one of those people that's like, I kind of want to drop this, I kind of just want Batman, I might go to All Star. Some people have been saying that. I would definitely think that would be a mistake at this point because, it's as I said, it's really been rewarding to see her art come to fruition, and maybe she'll become a long-term character, maybe not. I'm getting the vibes that maybe she's going to die, but that's my personal opinion, and I really look forward to seeing that, and that's one of the things I look forward to with this Night of the Monster Men crossover. Somebody has to die, surely, unless, maybe not, because they, spoiler alert for Detective Comics number 940, if you haven't read it, they did kill Red Robin Tim Drake, so at this point, pretty much every Robin's died, as far as I'm concerned. With the exception of maybe Dick Grayson, I think that he, of course, he's probably died many times, but I know of one in particular, but I think that was retconned. Tim Drake, of course, just now died, and then Jason Todd, obviously dead. Damian Wayne, he's come back from the Lazarus Pit, if I can recall correctly. So, Robin's not ever had a great run. Pretty much all of them have died at this point. So, really looking forward to see what's going on next week. We've got Batman, Aquaman, basically sort of this is sort of like a this week, so basically every other week, and this one, the last week in the month, is a little bit, I wouldn't say slower, but it's just like, you don't have like Batman and Aquaman and, well, you do have the Flash, and you have Wonder Woman too, but, those big hitter books that are definitely in, let's see, you also have Supergirl coming out next week. I look forward to that. I'm trying to think. Sometimes I don't like to think about it too much because I like to be surprised when I just go into the comic book store and just see what's new. And, as I said, I got that $20, so I got to pick 6. And, that's pretty much my review of all of the comics for this week. Once again, I read Batman Detective, Titans, Wonder Woman, Batgirl. I'm just trying to think about which I thought was my favorite, which is why I'm going back through them. Suicide Squad, Teen Titans, and The Flash. I know I said Teen Titans was my favorite. Not a whole ton happened in terms of a story. I just thought it was such a fun read. I would say that maybe my favorite was. Oh, it's so tough. It's so tough. I would say Teen Titans was. And no, the story's not gonna blow your mind or anything like that. But it's just a fun read, and it puts everybody on the level playing field. If you have nothing, if you don't know anything about any of these characters. And I really look forward to seeing that, because the Justice League vs. Teen Titans film is easily one of my favorite DC animated movies that I've seen. And, the Teen Titans is a group that I've read in the past, but not extensively. I'm not a Starfire, expert or anything like that, or anything like that, as I mentioned. So I'm looking forward to dive into that. I'm sure that Jack Percy, I think his name is Jack, but something Percy is going to allow us to get into that. So anyway, guys, I hope y'all have enjoyed the video, and if you did, feel free to give it a thumbs up. Hope you guys, stuck through my rambling of the new DC comics that came out this week. If you want me to do this next week, just let me know. I'm glad to do it. I love talking about comic books. I could do it all day. As you can tell, we're 25 minutes in. So, and I try to keep it short here. I could easily talk about this stuff for hours. So, hope you guys have enjoyed the video. If you did, feel free to give it a thumbs up. My name is Slickmoth. We'll see you in the next one.